Anti-immigrant policies kind of go in waves, and we're again in a very intense movement towards these policies designed to create an environment that is so hateful and harmful that people give up. In 2010, Arizona passed this law that basically criminalized undocumented folks. And very soon after, we started seeing copies of the Arizona law here in the South, with ultimately Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina passing these bills. And so For Freedoms started funding CERN during that period.
I first heard of For Freedoms Fund back in 2010. In Arizona, the state legislature passed the infamous Show Me Your Paper Law, SB 1070. I still remember coming together with many of the organizations and discussing the need for us to have structure, the need for us to have a strategy, and the need for us to have a story.
One of my first roles was to go to Alabama and figure out the impact that this policy was having. Even before it was actually fully implemented, people were fleeing the states in droves. That was the degree of fear that people had. And on the other hand, there were also leaders who were like, this is our home, we're not gonna leave. And so we held a grassroots organizing training, and people came from all over the state. Over the course of this fight against HB 56, it became a grassroots-led coalition with a leadership council. And that's, a very concrete example, but you can see that happening in various places in the South during these last 10 years.
For Freedoms Fund, through all of the personalities, all the funding, all the technical assistance, has really made us be able to grow to an anchoring progressive organization where there wasn't one before. We advocated for the enhanced library IDs, which offer as a form of government-issued ID for immigrant community members who otherwise can't access one. There's a direct line to change deep in the heart of Texas.
I'm always going to be mindful of the times that For Freedom spent here in Arizona, ensuring that we had that secure infrastructure to get us to this point where the state looks different.
I think we've seen a strengthening of the grassroots components of the movement, and that for us is key.
I believe in the power of movements and the power of change, and it's just a matter of laying the foundation and funding people who are closest to the issue that is really going to set the tone for that 20 million plus movement for people to, utterly change our current immigration systems.